Vegas,
Merry New Vegas. Merry New Year.
Merry
New Year. Welcome to 2023. Oh my God. You know, we're going to start a Trading Places revival. It's going to be the things for 2023. I just have a funny feeling. How are you guys doing? How are you enjoying the new year so far?
Oh, right on now.
Other than freezing your butt off? Is that what you said, Bill?
No, I mean, I'm one of those that goes through the holidays and I love it. And then when it's over, I have post-holiday depression.
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Bill, even though you have the most high-tech house on the planet, your connectivity is a little weird.
I don't know if that's me.
All right, maybe not. Andreea sounds good.
Yeah.
How do I sound? Bad?
Sounds, effed up as usual, but that's normal.
Wonderful.
Hey, what
I
want to know in 2023, when are we going to visit Bill's house?
You know what? I have.
They're like right there.
They're here now. I'll send you guys pictures. They're here now, putting in the rack upstairs. That work.
The rack.
Awesome.
Rack. I love it.
We want to see all these things you've told us about security and all that. I thought I had security here, but on second thought, I want to see your house. And I want to see the closets, the special closets, not just the house.
Yes.
I heard Bill got the Boston Robotics dog with like a sawed-off 12-gauge shotty.
Oh, man, you heard that already?
Yes.
I love that. That's what you got to have, man. You know what? I think I've said this before. Any company, when they want to pretend that they're a high tech, they seem to bring one of those Boston Dynamic dogs to their event, and they have it there, and they're showing it as if they have something to do with it. I see that all the time.
Well, see, Rob, that is the enablement trick. Say that I'm in the sticker business, right? I make stickers. So I put a sticker on this dog. It says Dominican stickers. And I can say the Boston Dynamic robot is enabled by the technology and low range frequency of Dominican stickers. Come get your stickers today and put on your robots.
I love it. You should be in marketing.
Never again.
You're done with that, huh? So
yeah.
So it's a new year and definitely a new you for you, huh?
Yes, very, very exciting. I've never not had a job since I'm like 12.
Yeah.
So it's
strange. Wow.
And but no, it's super excited at the possibility and the fact that I'm not doing anything and I don't have to do anything right now, and I am enjoying it to the fullest.
I love it.
And if I can share a few things about that, because it's been going on for almost 2 years for me. So
there you go.
Totally.
I've been kind of doing that off and on for the last year.
I was thinking earlier that of all of us, Bill is the only one that really, really works. Sorry, Leonard.
Yeah. I don't even know what happened to Leonard.
I don't know.
Leonard said.
There he is.
I don't heard that.
You heard that.
I don't know what Leonard does qualifies as work. So I think Bill is the only guy that's fully
the only guy. Yes.
Employed here. Yeah.
Yeah, I work. It just happens to be a hell of a lot of fun. That's just all. Okay. Deal with it, guys. Jeez.
It feels like Leonard does something similar to the rest of us in that we pontificate and say things and maybe write things down sometimes, and he gets paid for it. Whereas the rest of us are doing this for free.
Yes, we are doing it wrong, except Leonard.
Yeah, we're doing it wrong.
Yes, that's the lesson. Hey, man, it's you know, you just got to get out there and make stuff happen. You know, that's what it's all about.
Wow, there it is, guys. There's your sage advice. You just got to get out there and make stuff happen.
You gotta hustle.
Yeah,
you gotta hustle.
Get your side hustle.
You know what I'm saying? There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually a T-shirt. 2023, make shit happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. I think that's a great one for a T-shirt. In fact, we should make a IoT T-shirts that have that either in the front or the back. I don't know which.
I'm done with that.
Maybe in the front, right?
We do need T-shirts. Yeah. We do need T-shirts.
Yeah.
Actually, can you sit at the roulette table while we do this? I've got a few recommendations for you. Black 26 all day.
Great. Okay. Great.
Looks like it's cold in Vegas, and it looks like we might get some rain.
Yeah. So, I'm here for CES, and badge pickup was a breeze. Just picked it up over at the airport. Don't lose it because they'll charge you $350 or something like that for a badge replacement.
Oh,
that's like, come on, you're CES. Why don't you just have a digital badge on your app? It's like, get with the times. But I guess they're planning on making a hell of a lot of money with on the hopes that people are going to lose their badges constantly. So anyway, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I was talking to my taxi driver. He's saying not a lot of people have been rolling in. So I don't know if it's because of the storms or what, but he and the other drivers are a little bit disappointed. So we'll see how this turns out.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not just a bunch of analysts and media coming here and.
It starts tomorrow, right?
Yeah, it starts tomorrow, but you would think that there would be a lot of people here already as well, because a lot of there's a lot of them. I think there's supposed to be like 3,000 of them. They should be here to set up.
Yeah,
because some of these guys put up some massive exhibition booths.
Right.
Like Sony. Theirs is usually
they got the Walkman and their Discman.
Yeah, and so I don't know. Maybe these guys are pared down. I mean, they're all. One of the things I noticed is a lot of semiconductor companies have kind of mellowed out, so you don't see NVIDIA here. They say they're here, but they're not really here.
Yeah.
Intel, I think, is somewhere. I think they have something. But we'll see. But I think there was a lot of throttling back in spending for this year's CES. So,
right.
But I don't care because I like discovering stuff. I talk to these big guys all the time, right? We talk to these big guys all the time. It's just bumping into these little guys that are doing something super interesting. That's always really worthwhile, and
that's the best part of CES. All the tech from the corner of the earth. It's always good. Absolutely. At least no one is trying to hand you any of those playing cards, so to speak, Leonard, on the strip.
Playing cards.
They're like this.
Yeah.
It's making cards or something. Isn't that what that is?
Are you sure you didn't do that as a side hustle?
That might be my.
You seem pretty good at it.
Absolutely.
Oh,
hey guys, I have to jump. I have to work.
Oh, really?
What?
You do?
And
I don't even know why you're.
Happy New Year! Can't wait to see what we're going to do this year.
I think we're going to move our headquarters to Dripping Springs.
Come on through.
That's it.
That's what
there
we're
you
going to
go.
I'll see you guys.
All right, adios.
See you, Bill.
Wow.
Yeah, so
I fly out of here. I fly out of here like at 1 something today. and get there like 4:30,
okay.
somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. Yeehaw. Excuse me. Yeah.
So, Andrea, what do you think you're going to do this year? Have any game plan ideas for your new hustle?
Yeah, great question.
Healthcare, right?
Yes. Yes. Every, I mean, I have plans. I have ideas. I have actually a couple of companies that I would like to join. I like to join one of them.
Yeah.
The interesting thing to me is have quite a few opportunities in a startup space, quite a few, and I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling any one of them, not because they're not, they don't know what they're doing. No, not at all. It's just for me.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling any of them. So I have my eyes on certain companies.
Yeah.
And I just keep postponing getting more engaged with them because I do all this travel back and forth to Romania.
Yeah.
And I do it because that's what I want to do. I want to spend time with my mom, So I came back on towards before Christmas, and I'm going back in a couple of weeks.
Gotcha.
And when you do this, right, a commitment to a job and work in a large company doesn't jive very well.
Right, traveling whenever you want. I totally get it.
Yes, especially when you're in the beginning. So that's why I keep postponing.
What if you had, do you ever have any ideas in your own in your head? Like if you were going to do your own startup, if you wanted to make something, do you know what you would want to do? Or is that a secret?
Sure. Oh, no, for sure I do. Sure I do. I kind of keep it as a secret because I just feel it's the right thing, right? I don't know if anybody else. I'm pretty sure others are thinking of that too. But for mine, it has to do with orthopedics, musculoskeletal system.
Yeah,
and has very much to do with everything in addition to bones, right? Because the sexy thing to do is operate on bones, broken bones, joints that have seen better days, joint replacement. That's where the big money is, and that's where
you won't believe who I just bumped into.
Who?
Oh my God, brother, what's up? Who's this? Who's this?
Hey Rob, how are you?
What's up, bro?
Good. Daniel,
I can't hear him, so I can't hear you.
That's okay.
Yeah, we're recording.
The next wave of acceleration economy.
Yeah, no. Where are you headed, man?
Qualcomm.
Okay, they're on mute now.
There you go. That's what happens.
Yeah. So that's
sorry.
What I was saying is, I have this whole vision of what I like to see in this field, and I've talked to a couple of surgeons that are not, heavy duty practicing. They're professors, more professors now, and the prestigious schools. And they told me like, oh boy, this is really interesting, but you're going to face a lot of hurdles from the industry the industry that makes all this prosthetics.
Yeah.
And it would be tough. And I'm like, yeah, but it's for the betterment of society. Clearly for the betterment of society, what I have in mind that en masse, right? Because a lot of people are aging and I also want, I want to do things for people, not when they're 80,
right,
but when they're 50.
Yeah.
So I do have, this is where my ideas are.
Okay. That's cool.
And they involve sensors and they involve algorithms and, the things we talk about.
I had friends and I know people, when I say the early days of IoT, whatever that means, but, the idea of geriatric stuff, IoT for elderly people, when you hear that term aging in place, People want to be able to stay in their own home when they get older, not go live at some old folks' home, right? And nursing home. And I remember friends who are in the space, at least taking a stab at that maybe 7 years ago. What kind of sensors and cameras and things can I put in a person's home or their apartment so that either we can help them, keep an eye on them, whatever, so that they can keep, can sensors and data and then actuators can that help someone be able to stay at home and not have to move to a nursing home or something like that, or at least delay it. It's funny, I haven't followed that. I remember hearing a lot about that a long time ago, and I don't know what's going on in that space now, but I know I still hear people all the time. In fact, one of the people, when I was doing an IoT startup before I joined Ericsson, and he was on my board, and he was like, man, if you could use this IoT stuff for, geriatric care and going after the silver population and aging in place, and there's so many things, it's an exciting space. Probably something worth talking about sometime.
Yeah, and what I've noticed is a lot of people are leaving their homes and going to this not retirement centers, but this old folks homes. And for me, that's super sad.
Yeah.
I think a lot more, it's going on more and more and more. And it's very, very sad. And a lot of times they don't really want to do it, but it's considering the circumstances is the best way.
Right.
Well-intended children and family make those decisions for the, for the good of the person.
Yeah.
But, what else could we put in place? And, what's stopping companies or people like the one you talked about from doing this? Is it who pays for it?
Maybe.
Is the price low enough?
And you know what? Maybe when people were trying it 5, 7, 10 years ago, the price was too high.
Right.
And so maybe now today it's more feasible. Might be something worth looking at.
And that's, is that morphing maybe into remote monitoring devices?
Yeah. Yeah.
So kind of blending there with blood pressure monitoring or diabetes monitoring.
Yeah, I've seen just little bits and pieces. I've seen stuff where, they might use motion sensors. I want to make sure that grandma is moving sometime during the day. Like if I notice that she's just in bed the whole time, maybe that's bad. I've seen people with cameras on their grandparents or great parent, and they can look on their phone and see grandpa, he looks like he's okay. I mean, just little bits and pieces, I don't know if there's really good comprehensive, and I don't even know what all that would entail to make that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff here at CES in that area. I was looking at the the Innovation Awards page, and if you cycle through all of the nominees, a lot of them are in this whole sort of healthcare, health monitoring, elderly care type space, right? So, I do have to be honest, I haven't seen anything incredibly new. It's been 4 years since I've been to a CES. Primarily due to the COVID and all that stuff, the pandemic. But, obviously it's doing all the stuff virtual. It doesn't even give you, even a fraction of what the experience is like actually seeing the device, even to, get a feel for it, talk to the product folks to ask some of the hard questions. But yeah, I don't know how far we've come or how far people have taken technology and infused it into these types of products and solutions.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I'll keep an eye out on. I'm doing a report at the end of all this stuff, so I'll share some insights. And Rob, you and I will be hanging out here, so we can probably do some things.
I'm counting on you guys.
We Well, you know what? One of the things, like when I saw early days of trying to monitor older people, they were building custom-made wearable devices and things, and that was before the Apple Watch came out. And then the Apple Watch got better and better and better, and it does so many different things. I don't know. Could a third party, is there a way to suck data from Apple Watch telemetry going to Apple's cloud or something? You know,
well, I don't know if it actually works that way, but I think there are some APIs that Watch OS provide. I mean, I think Apple's kind of being nudged to provide a little bit more openness and access to these proprietary interfaces so that app developers can build on it. But I think they also do it for their own benefit, because they want the the Watch OS ecosystem or developer community to really foster that platform, right? And so I think you can. I don't think they try to keep it all to themselves. You just have to go through their whole privacy frameworks and all that stuff to ensure that any personal data is not compromised. And I'm not quite sure specifically how Apple manages that in terms of terms and conditions of using those APIs and services.
Right.
So that's a great question, though, man.
Because you've seen all these specific players who are building stuff on the wrist, people putting something on your chest, heart rate. You've seen all kinds of stuff. I knew guys that were nearby where I live near Redmond called Sensoria. They were a bunch of ex-Microsoft guys. They were building socks that had sensors in it that could tell all kinds of things about your health, but based on your gait, the way you walk.
Really?
They could tell a lot of things. It was mind-boggling.
Yeah, I was going down the wrong direction. I thought it would be able to sense how your feet smell, and we're able to diagnose your health that way. And it's odd that I say that, but there's some truth in it. I think people who have stinky feet have certain types of conditions.
There you go.
And you could use an AI to extrapolate based on, how smelly your feet are and the gait in your walk.
We just went
how many steps you take in a day. Did I just go down?
This whole session just.
Did I just crash it? Oh, I'm so sorry.
We were going to post this for everybody, but now it's like, forget about it.
No, come on, man. That's innovation. That's called sensor fusion. I mean, give me a break, dude. We have an episode where we talked about Toto. You guys know Toto, that's toilet company.
Oh, we
make toilets, the friggin' robotic toilets.
We did
the sentient toilets. Yeah. And then the sort of the funk sniffing sensors that can actually, I don't know if it can actually do it, but they claim that it can determine whether or not you have certain types of illnesses based on what it senses, right? So I mean, but if you're getting into healthcare, you're getting into these types of things, because when you think about the elderly, a lot of them are immobile, and especially if they're living by themselves, and you want to be able to get some, let's say, preliminary or precautionary signals about their condition, you might have novel solutions, right? And I mean, let's hand it to the doctors. They have to deal with some funky stuff in managing all of our health, right? All of our health, right?
Yeah.
As patients. I mean, we think that, maybe some of us think that being a doctor means you make a crap ton of money and you live in a big house and you drive a Toyota Camry with all the upgrades, of course. But they deal with the body, and the body is funky.
Andrea, I think the solution to all this stuff is 5G.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Once we have 5G in there,
you had to do it.
Takes care of everything. Takes care of everything.
Well, I think that's what all that 6G, some of that sensory stuff is all about, but that just gets a little bit weird. And how you standardize that and what?
I was just being Dr. Evil. It got weird.
Oh, okay. Anyway, that's I don't know. There's some serious privacy stuff related to a lot of things they're talking about around 6G and the sensory stuff, and how well that stuff will work out in the wild versus indoors. And if it's working indoors, it's like, well, what kind of creepy applications are you concocting in your mind that this is going to be good for? And as a lot of the technologies become even more invasive on our person, forget about our lives. I mean, it's like all up in our business, as they say.
Yeah, for sure.
That might be a tough sell. Something to think about, 6G people.
I can't get my mind. I cannot get my mind to think 6G. So I'm kind of stuck on 5G, thinking.
Yeah.
All right. Is it still early, or is it not early? Early by what standards? I mean, personally, knowing what I know, having worked where I worked, I expected 5G to be a lot more today in 2023.
Yeah.
So seeing, I attend quite often these, telco summits talking about various topics surrounding 5G, not necessarily only 5G, but just surrounding 5G. And it seems like it's the same thing we talked about 2 years ago and 3 years ago. And
I remember at the very end of 2018, Verizon wanted to be first launching 5G. Remember, they launched some kind of, it wasn't actually standard 5G or
correct
something.
Yeah, their version.
Yeah, but they wanted to say they were first.
And Verizon and T-Mobile talk a lot about their fixed wireless access.
And it was a FWA. It was a FWA.
It was FWA, and it's still, and they talk about that as being a success, right? And I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm disappointed that we don't have more, and I wonder why we don't have more in terms of diversity of applications, And a lot of times in these conversations we have in LinkedIn, for example, we get stuck on the use case. I mean, what is a use case? Is a 5G use case is something that can happen only because the 5G exists, or is something that 5G can help happen in parts of the world where it couldn't happen without 5G, right? Those kind of, I don't know if that made any sense to you, Rob.
No, it does.
Because you're right. A lot of time we make fun of talk like that sometimes, because you might say, well, we did that same thing on Ethernet, or we did that same thing on Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
But you're right. There are cases where maybe, like, I'll give an example. Do you remember a long time ago when we were doing our early trials with Telstra, and we were showing how far we could beam NB-IoT? And it was, I don't know, 4 kilometers, or it was a lot farther.
That's it.
It was
4 kilometers. That's it for NB-IoT.
It was probably farther.
Crap.
I'd have to go back and see the document. It was a big deal. Staying within the standard with NB-IoT is part of 5G. I know didn't start that way, but yeah, they were able to beam NB-IoT at lower frequencies, underground a little bit in mines, and incredible distances. Maybe it was 100 kilometers or something.
It was like 100 kilometers or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that restaurant looks familiar. Lavo.
Are you at Lavo?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm not going there. I'm just coming in because it's a little cold outside. Yeah. And I wanted a better scenery.
Well, better scenery.
That you guys can appreciate. The audience can appreciate.
So a lot of CES is taking place in the Venetian, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing that I want to do is I want to go over to the exhibition hall, and so that's not very crowded, and people should be coming in tonight.
Yeah,
So we're giving you guys a sneak peek into what the real deal is, the real deal Holyfield.
There you go.
Yeah,
I like that.
But getting back to the use cases. Yeah, the thing is, you can talk use cases all day long, and then it stops. The conversation stops, and then it's like, well, what are you going to actually apply in the technology and these use cases as like sort of a pattern for solving problems? And that's where the conversation literally ends. Yeah, well, someone will come up with something. I mean, seriously, after all these years, that's still where we are. Where we are. It's like, well, someone will figure it out. I was like, well, who the hell is that somebody?
But I think it's a statement that, Andreea, you were talking, the whole fixed wireless access, when people say that's their success story, does it need to get better? Yeah. But it might be that thing that, because obviously all the mobile operators have bet the farm on 5G, and they're waiting for all that money to start rolling in from it. And it hasn't. But this fixed wireless access, takes me back. If you guys go back in time and remember when Craig McCaw came out of retirement and created Clearwire and made a bet on WiMAX and was going to beam WiMAX directly to homes, because you're right. There's a lot of people who can't get cable fiber to their home. Maybe this will finally see that vision become a reality. I don't know.
Yeah. And I think fixed wireless access is, in 5G is kind of cool. Has a lot of potential. But I think everyone's expectation was that 5G, in terms of, let's say, a valuable application in the near term, they thought it would be AR, VR, and autonomous vehicles and all this other stuff. But they never really took fixed wireless access seriously. So as much as we might poke fun at Hans Vestberg for, getting up on stage and making a big deal out of the pre-5G 5G, might have to give him credit and say, hey, you were onto something. You actually pointed out an important application that might make sense for operators going forward, especially as they try to figure out, well, how do we make millimeter wave valuable? How do we change the economics of deployment? And I think what we discovered with 5G is this whole, kind of conversation about this whole conversation about digital transformation. We're discovering, like many other enterprises and industries have discovered, it's freaking hard. So easy to go out there and say digital transformation. Digital transformation is thinking this and that. It costs a hell of a lot of money.
It does.
And the big question is, and you could do it wrong.
How long will we be able to continue to see and hear Leonard as he goes deeper and deeper into the casino?
Yeah.
Oh, am I cutting out?
No, you're doing okay. You're doing all right.
But I see the bunny rabbit?
Yeah.
No, we see the bunny rabbit.
Yeah.
Where are you? Where are you now?
I'm headed toward the Sand Expo. So I want to give you guys a feel for how many people are actually here.
So what hotel are you in? Like what property are you?
Venetian.
Venetian, yeah, okay.
Hey, folks. It's all about...
There you go.
Right?
Awesome.
It's all about love.
There you go.
Love and rabbits.
Awesome.
They go together, don't they?
Rabbits and love. Lovely rabbits.
Uh-oh.
But I'll tell you right now, man.
Leonard froze.
Like not looking all that great.
You froze, Leonard. Finally reached the end.
Leonard froze. Uh-oh.
Leonard reached the end of his digital transformation. Yeah. he got transformed into a frozen.
You know, when digital. Oh, there you go. Okay, we lost the video. You know, when we talk about digital transformation, something that has, you know, I've seen in places where I worked and I've pondered over since. People they either have big ambitions for digital transformation, or they have, you know, mediocre ambitions, and they do a small step, like they migrate from one CRM to Salesforce, and they go, oh yeah, we've digitally transformed ourselves, but they were using an online CRM before too.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when we hear about successful digital transformation, it's actually, sorry to be a bit arrogant, but it's peanuts. They really haven't done much.
Right.
And the things we don't hear about are probably the more complex things, where people put a lot of thought and take longer because they're complex and because they run into issues, or they, within the company, they don't have consensus, or, you know, whatever reasons. So I take, when I hear about successful digital transformations, I take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
For that reason.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I hear you. A lot of people are doing small time stuff. You know.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
And if you look at healthcare, their biggest step into digital transformation was going to electronic health records, or electronic medical records, EHR or EMR. They use the term, both terms. That was the biggest step, you know, and it was a huge, gigantic step, and everybody's complaining about it. Everybody. Yeah. Not only that, it costs a ton of money. So a ton of money goes into that, but then it's not user-friendly. All doctors, they see an increased workload on a daily basis. Nurses do too. And then it's confusing sometimes, and they don't register everything. And, you know, you just have access, the patient have access to that information, but then the question is, then what?
Right.
You know, okay, it's great that I don't have to drive to pick up my report because I can see it online. Woohoo. You know, but then what?
Right. Absolutely.
There's no digital follow-up. There's no digital guidance, you know, from that.
That's right. That's right. That's a good point. What are we going to do? Hop on a plane to Vegas.
That's what you're going to be doing soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can you guys see me now or no?
Yes.
Now we can.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's so I'm in. This is
not a high quality image. No, not high quality, but we see you.
You know, it's pretty amazing with all the talk of 5G indoor, especially here 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Yep.
They haven't really made much progress. Yeah.
Now I can tell you're in the Venetian. Finally, I'm able to
I'm in the Venetian. So yeah,
I wish you had this option on your phone. It's not necessarily a connectivity deal. It helps is if you could shift your video to black and white, which uses dramatically fewer bits. There's AWS. Yeah.
AWS.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's smart. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. I think you just came up with an innovation, dude.
Like forever ago, it was off of low bandwidth. You're sending things in black and white, hardly using any data at all. And it would be cool to have that option to just shift to black and white when you don't have as much bandwidth. Oh, there you go. There's your screenshot for the day.
Yeah.
Here, look more. Get in front of it. Look more directly at the phone. I'll do a screenshot of the video.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Hold on. It's so ridiculous.
Oh yeah, make the face. Yes.
Oh my
God. Face. The Dwayne Johnson.
The Dwayne Johnson. All right, start talking, Leonard. Get back there.
Yeah. So here's at Hall C where all the healthcare stuff is actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
That's
and
cool.
then downstairs is Eureka Park, and that's where all the startups are.
Yep.
So Rob, you and I are probably going to spend a lot of time there, just kind of poking around.
Yeah.
So they have a consumer IoT, and other nice stuff. But as you can tell, it's still working. It doesn't look all that great. So yeah, no wonder people aren't here. But considering they have 3,000 exhibitors allegedly, you would think there would be more people. But I think most of the people are going to come tomorrow. So I don't think you're missing out on too much, Rob. No.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. It doesn't technically get underway till tomorrow for everybody anyway.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. I was surprised when they said the event is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm not accustomed to events like this being on a Saturday.
Yeah, actually, it goes out until Sunday.
Yeah,
which is really cool. Cool. Well, I mean, what do I mean to say? Weird.
It got weird.
It's a sound with the C. Oh, yeah. It constantly gets weird, man.
Totally.
This is the new year. It's time to be. Oh, so I'm going to go down to Eureka Park Road here to show you guys. And I'm sure there's like a ton of people who've never been to CES, right?
Right.
So. Yeah, I mean, think about it. They get like 100,000, 160 in the heyday, maybe 160,000 people, or maybe 200. But that's still only a small fraction of the world that has been able to come to Las Vegas to partake in this feast of electronics and so-called innovation. So,
yeah, innovation.
Yes. Make stuff up. So yeah, this is where they usually have it. Obviously, they're not going to let me in, even though I have a analyst pass, and that's where it is over there.
Okay, right.
So we'll be spending some time there.
Absolutely.
And Rob and I will share our insights from CES 2022.
We'll go hit there tomorrow.
So if you see anything healthcare related in Eureka Park,
we'll
appreciate if you share it.
We'll take lots of pictures, commentary.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I feel like Wayne.
You're in Wayne's World.
Wayne's World. Here, I'm showing my badge.
Exactly.
Backstage access. Yeah.
Exactly. That's awesome.
Oh, so ridiculous. Yeah.
Good times. At least you're staying somewhat nearby. I'm all the way downtown.
Yeah. Imagine that. I just walked over here.
You did.
I didn't hop into anything.
I know.
I did my typical meandering, but I did finally get here.
Yeah. Now I do remember, like, there at the Sands part of Venetian, and then they had these buses that were taking people over to the convention center from the Sands the last time we were there. What Leonard and I often talked, because we were at CES together in January of 2020, before we knew that the world was about to end. And we speculated that the actual initial super spreader event that brought COVID into the US was actually CES before, because a lot of people were saying, it's some doctor came into Seattle and whatever. I was like, Lenovo was here. A lot of people, they didn't know.
A lot of Chinese companies were here.
Yeah. January of 2020, we were all there.
Yeah.
A lot of companies, and for all we know, that was where it got spread to the U.S. back then. We just didn't know it yet,
Yeah. Well, now everybody is part of the COVID. I don't even want to call it.
We're part of the COVID ecosystem.
Everyone's part of the COVID disaster now, I guess is what you call it.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I still mask up. I'm still masking up. I'm doing the hand sanitizer thing. These simple measures that have generally kept me, healthy, and I managed to avoid getting COVID until I went to a blues bar, hung out with a bunch of people who were no maskers and no vaxxers, and lo and behold, I got it. hugging too many friends.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's
no. So
yeah. Well, I'll bring a mask just in case then, because I know how CES can get kind of crowded.
oh yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Right now, there's more than enough minimum
Distancing happening.
social distancing going on here. So
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
A-okay for the moment.
Right.
But yeah, there's going to be a lot of contact no doubt. I mean, how's your week gonna look, Rob? My schedule's like packed like nuts, man. It's like crazy.
Yeah. My schedule is, well, I think I'm going to some just drinks and something at some hotel tonight, just briefly
Okay.
though.
Okay.
Tomorrow, most of the day, we'll just be heads down, going around the places,
Yeah.
and seeing a few people. I know we got dinner tomorrow night. Friday is where things pick up for me. To go see lots of friends, go see lots of companies at their booths and stuff like that, you know. And some kind of metaverse thing Friday night.
Really?
What's that about?
Okay. Metaverse.
Oh, my good friend Greg Kahn is. I'm going to a dinner with him and Beverly Ryder that they're putting on.
Oh, okay. Tonomo, right?
Oh yeah. Autonomous is Beverly's new thing. You're right. It's part of the Neon thing in Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. It's the last time I was at CES. Obviously, I was still at Ericsson, and I was with a bunch of and my boss Kiba and I were hanging out, but we had a breakfast that was put on by Greg Kahn, because he was the one back then. He was doing the Internet of Things consortium. Not to be confused with the IoT consortium. And so he and Beverly actually, because Beverly was still at Hitachi at the time, and that's how I got to know Beverly, is we had a breakfast. I guess it was at the Venetian or Wynn or something like that. Anyway, they're back together again doing something else. But this time it's going to be metaversey. And so we'll see.
They're really into this whole metaverse stuff at Neon.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not surprised. Yeah, I think I was one of the first analysts to cover them. It was about 2 years ago. One of my friends, he's the emerging technologies executive director there. So he's been there for going on 3 years. It's amazing.
It's pretty interesting stuff, building a city from scratch, and it's
from scratch.
$500 billion to do it.
Yeah, it started off as $500 billion. So if it's $1 trillion now, that's a big increase in budget, or at least anticipated
pretty
investment.
interesting.
So yeah. Well, we'll have a lot of fun. It's going to be interesting one way or the other, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Last year was from what I hear, was just a disaster. So if this year is even if it's 2020, that'll be pretty damn good. Minus the super spreader event, then I think we're okay.
There you go. Awesomeness.
So, stay tuned, folks. You guys want to wrap it up? I gotta go. I gotta get ready to hit some meetings and stuff like that, and do some.
Good, man.
See some demos. So, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. All and our IoT Coffee Talk members, thanks for joining us. Happy New Year. We hope you're looking forward to a wonderful 2023. And remember, keep it real. Watch a lot of IoT Coffee Talk. We have now going on 3 years of content. That means 150 hours of babbling and rambling. And out of all that rambling, you will find probably about 5 minutes of just absolutely compelling insights but you got to watch all the episodes.
There you go.
So do your homework.
That's right.
In 2023, we're here. We're here to help. You know, just reach out, comment. You think we're full of crap? You know, we want to hear from you.
Yeah, we want to hear from them. Yeah,
we're totally averse to, you know, all this kumbaya agreement and stuff is boring as hell. But we hope you're looking forward to a great 2023, guys. So glad that we're going to continue to do this and make a difference in the lives of about 500 people. And hopefully by the end of this year, we'll be looking at 1 billion. And so everyone out there, remember www.iotcoffeetalk.com. Smash that like button. Smash that bell button. There's a lot of buttons. Just smash them all. Right?
Yes.
But most importantly, share. And we will see you next week with our recap of CES 2023. Rob and I will
That's
drop
gonna
a
be
few
good.
Buddha nuggets your way.
Buddha.
And Buddha nuggets are not what you think. Okay. They're good things. Okay.
They're good things.
And you'll appreciate them. Yes. So we are out. Thank you so much.
You guys have fun.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.